Let's handle implicit differentiation tonight. Implicit differentiation means differentiating functions that cannot be written explicitly as y in terms of x. When a function is written as y is equal to f of x, we say this is an explicit function. For instance, we have y equal to 2x plus 3. We can differentiate this. This is an explicit function. But when we have x and y so mixed up that you cannot make y the subject of formula, we say we are dealing with an implicit function. So let's differentiate the following implicit functions, or as usual, we'll take one of them. Let's take question 2. I think that's the most complex here. And so what do? Whenever we differentiate y, we write the y dx. That's the simple rule. Anytime you differentiate y, remember to attach the y over the x. And so what do we do now? Question 2. Let's solve. If we differentiate x to the power of 3, you know that will give you 3x to the power of 2. Am I right? Yes. And then in this part that we have product term, this is where the confusion is. So what you do to be careful is to first of all say minus 4. Bring out the coefficient and then open a bracket. And then when you open your bracket, you differentiate. Now we'll have two parts. We'll have the x part and we'll have the y part. And so what do? Let's differentiate the x part first. But for you to do that, first thing you do is write the y part and leave it. And then differentiate the x part. So we're differentiating x squared. You know, if we differentiate x squared, we get 2x, right? And then you put a plus sign here. Always put a plus sign there. Now you differentiate the y part. So for us to differentiate the y part, we'll first of all write the x part, which is x squared. And then when we differentiate the y part is y raised to the power of 4. If you differentiate y raised to the power of 4, you get 4y raised to the power of 3. And then that's it. We're done with the product term, so we'll close the bracket. And then, remember that whenever we differentiate the y part, we have to attach the y over the x. We have to attach the y dx. So that's before we close the bracket. And so what do we do now? We differentiate y, because look at it. We have handled x to the power of 3. It gave us 3x to the power of 2. We have handled minus 4x squared y to the power of 4. It gave us what we have all here in this place. Now we're going to differentiate y. Remember, when you differentiate y, you get 1. So permit me to write 1, but put the y over the x. Remember the simple rule. Whenever you differentiate y, you write the y dx. So in this part where we differentiate y to the power of 4, we said 4y to the power of 3, the y over dx. And then we say equal to. Remember, when you differentiate a constant, when we differentiate 8, we get 0. So what we have now is 3x squared. Let's simplify. We'll open up the bracket. 4 will multiply 2, give us 8. And then it's better to write x before y. So we say 8x y to the power of 4. And then minus will multiply plus, give us minus. And then we'll have 4 will multiply 4, give us 16. And then we'll have 16, we'll say x to the power of 2, y to the power of 3. Then remember that there's the y over the x there. Then we say plus 1, the y over the x, equal to 0. So what we'll do now is to make the y over the x the subject of formula. So let me write it as 1, and then I say minus 16, x to the power of 2, y to the power of 3, before I put the y over the x. What did I do here? I simply factored out all the ones that have the y dx, but I started with the positive one, which is 1, before moving to the negative, which is minus 16x squared y cubed. And then I say the y dx, and then I'm going to say equal to. Then I'm moving these ones that don't have the y dx to the right hand side. I'll begin with minus 8xy to the power of 4. That will give me 8xy to the power of 4. And then I'll move 3x squared to the other side. That will give me minus 3x squared. And then I'm done. So what I simply do is my final answer. The y over the x is now 8x xy to the power of 4 minus 3x to the power of 2 divided by 1 minus 16x to the power of 2 y to the power of 3. That's it. That's the end of it. That's the end of it, and that's where we end the class. Okay, so see you in the next video. Bye-bye.